Tell me, have you ever noticed something strange in your body? I'm talking about the feelings that sometimes arise. The feeling that there is another person in you. I understand. Now it may sound like nonsense, but it's the real truth. And we are not talking about a split personality. Everything is much more sincere. In general, listen, watch, and you will understand everything. Just do not forget to like the video, write comments, and subscribe to our channel. My name is Shaya. I grew up in a house full of love, tenderness, and care. My parents always carried me in their arms, and I could feel it. I was safe, warm, and comfortable, but sometimes I wondered why my mom and dad were so protective of me. Well, when I was little, it didn't hurt. The problems came later, when I was 13 years old. I remember my friend Tina invited me to a housewarming party at home. She gathered all the girls, and I would really like to have been there too. I came home, did my homework as soon as possible, and then went to my mother and asked to visit. It was the first party in my life without my parents, and my mother was very excited. She first said a short no and then threw questions at who would be there, what we were going to do there, what we would eat, drink, everything to the smallest detail. I was so angry. I said, "Mom, I've grown up. How much control can you have over my life? Why don't you let me go anywhere? Why haven't I gone anywhere without you yet?" It was true. All my girlfriends have already been somewhere many times. They had some kind of personal life, and why didn't I have the right to do this too? I thought it was fair to take a break sometimes because I was already sitting at home, studying hard, and I only had good grades. To a lot of my questions, my mother only said that she would not let me in, and that was all, without any explanation. I went into my room and started crying. I don't know how long I lay on the bed, and when I calmed down, sat down at the boudoir in front of the mirror and wiped my tears with a tissue. At the moment when I looked at my face, I suddenly thought that I was seeing not myself, but another person. I even got scared, closed my eyes, wiped them, and opened them again, and then I saw myself again. I sat there for a while, thinking that I was imagining things because of the stress. I didn't talk to my parents for a couple of days, and then I forgot everything, but they didn't even let me go for a walk. After a while, I started having nightmares. I kept dreaming about the girl. She looked something like me, but it was the first time I'd seen her. I think her name was Larrett. She was older, taller than me, but we had the same hair color. In my dreams, she often came to me in a white dress, invited me to sit next to her. She didn't talk much, but at the end of each dream, I saw her die. It was terrible. She was so sick, and every dream I ran to help her, but not in time. Mom says I used to scream at night, but I don't remember it. I had bad dreams for 2 weeks, and then something happened at breakfast, and I sat down at the table as usual, and then I got up and poured myself a cup of coffee with cream, made toast, made eggs, and boiled sausages. All this I did as if in a fog. It wasn't like me at all. Usually, I don't eat breakfast, and I never drink coffee, much less eat fried food. But I managed to eat breakfast as quickly as if I was hungry. My parents watched me the whole time, and then they asked me what was going on. And when I finished the last piece of toast, I realized that I had eaten very well. At this moment, I seemed to wake up, looked at my mother in a frightened way, and asked, "Did I eat right now?" My mother turned pale, and she and my father exchanged glances. My father said I never eat breakfast or drink coffee, but why did I want it so badly now? I packed up and went to school. On the way home after school, my feet wandered me somewhere in the park. I didn't know this place existed before, but I went to it like I was hanging out there every day. I sat there alone and felt warm. Then I went home, dropped my bag on the doorstep, and went to the bathroom. My mother came to pick me up, and she tripped over my bag and called out to me, but I didn't answer, so she went to the bathroom and found me there. I was singing a song about a dream. I had only heard it in my dreams before. That girl used to sing it to me all the time. Mom started banging on the door, and I opened it and went back to the bathroom. "Since when do you throw your bag on the doorstep and take a bath?" my mother asked. I just said I wanted to, that's all, and then continued to sing. And then my mother began to cry. "Mom, what's wrong? Why are you crying?" I asked her, but she was crying so hard she couldn't calm down. I got out of the tub, put on a robe, and walked over to her. "Is everything okay, Mom?" This question did not bother her at all. "You never called me that," she said, and ran into the bedroom. I came into my room, sat down in front of the mirror again, and hummed a song, then looked at my face and realized that it had changed a little. And in general, some strange, inexplicable things were happening in me. And the more things happened, the more something new appeared in me. I didn't tell anyone about it. I thought maybe I'm just growing up this way. I went to bed, and the next morning I went to school without breakfast. After class, I returned home as before and sat down for lessons. The next day, I was eating sausage and eggs again, and after school, I went to the park alone. It seemed to me that I was going crazy. The nightmares were frequent. That girl Larrett in a white dress still came to me. Every time I tried to ask her who she was, she disappeared or started to get sick. I tried to save her, but I couldn't. And so, 2 months later, I wanted to wake up again and go to school, but I felt a sharp pain in my head. I couldn't even open my eyes. Then I wanted to get up, and somehow I took 2 steps, fell to the floor, and felt sick. "Mom! Dad!" I called to them as much as I could, but no one came. And then I passed out. In fragments, I remember how my mother was crying and the doctors were standing next to me. I heard my father's loud voice, "We can't lose her!" And then I closed my eyes and fell asleep. "Hey, you all ready? It's too early for you. Say hi to Mom and Dad," Larrett said to me in a dream. I tried to catch up with her, but no matter how much I ran, I didn't get any closer. I shouted at her, asked her to tell me who she was, and she said so quietly and calmly that it wasn't time for me yet, that I had to go back. A flash of light, and I opened my eyes and breathed. "Thank God!" my mother shouted. I felt a sharp pain in my chest. I was given artificial respiration. When I finally came to my senses, the doctor said that everything would be fine. I got an IV, drank some water, and fell asleep again. I was discharged a few days later. As my mother told me, she found me lying unconscious on the floor. I was not breathing. The doctors did an examination and said that I was healthy, but no one understood what happened to me. When I got home, my mom made dinner and we sat down at the table. And I said, "Larrett said hi." At that moment, my father's appliances fell out of his hands and my mother choked. They asked me how I knew her, and I told them about my dreams and how I had seen her in the mirror. My mother burst into tears, and I realized that she was close to them. But how exactly? "This is our daughter, your sister. She died of illness when she was 13, and then we had you. I didn't know yet, but it turns out I got pregnant with you when she was gone," my mother told me later, and I understood everything. I guess she was trying to tell me about it, that we were sisters, and I didn't understand. That's why I saw her so often. She told me it wasn't time yet and made me wake up in the hospital. I said. My father hugged me. I asked why they never told me about it, but my dad said that they didn't want to talk about it. They were trying to move on. My mom pulled out her photos and I framed them, then brought them to my room. Now I think she is my guardian angel, and may her soul live in me forever. It warms me and protects me. What do you guys say? Have you seen any souls? What was it like?